Welcome back. Australasian Metals Limited is a mineral exploration company focused on precious battery metals. The company's project portfolio comprises 2 gold projects located in Queensland and 2 lithium projects situated in the Northern Territory. The company has an option agreement with Verdant Minerals Limited regarding the Dingo Hole high pure quartz project. Dr. Qingtao Zeng is the Managing Director of Australasian Metals Limited. He earned his PhD in geology from the Centre of Exploration Targeting at the University of Western Australia in 2013. With expertise in geology and commercial aspects, he has consulted for Eldorado Gold Limited, CSA Global Australia. Since 2015, Dr. Zeng has been actively involved in exploration and corporate transactions across Asia. His contributions to academic literature include several papers on orogenic gold and structure-control gold geological studies. He holds memberships in the Australasian Institute of Mining and Metallurgy and the Society of Economic Geologists. Presently, Dr. Zeng serves as a non-executive director for ASX-listed Winsome Resources Limited and non-executive chairman of Oceania Lithium Limited. Dr. Zeng, it's a pleasure to see you today. Now, if we can start by having you talk us through why you started with the high pure quartz industry.
Yeah, that's an interesting story. As Australasian Metals are actively exploring lithium in Northern Territory, and we complete a diamond drill program in our Mount Peak lithium project. Unfortunately, we didn't find big lithium deposits, but we intersect a lot of pegmatite. And then I start to look at what the potential economic outcome of pegmatite. And then I read this interesting paper talking about high purity quartz, and that high-end products can reach as high as to 50,000-60,000 US dollars per ton, but you need really pure stuff. So we did some assays on our own drill hole, and I start looking at this region, and then I recognize this project, Dingo Hole, which is not too far away from us to the east, and I checked the historical data, looks amazing. And in the meantime, my experience is in the junior resource industry. You need to get your commodity right, because once you're in the right industry, you will do really well. I personally, and also my company, has done really well in the lithium space because we got in early, we got an exciting exploration program. Our share price, if I can go back to the history, run as high as to 92 cents, right now 7 cents. So I say, what could be the next thing? Could be high purity quartz. And since second half of last year, I got a lot of contact from China, came to Australia all the way looking for high purity quartz because that premium price and big demand. So that's the reason I shifted my company's focus from lithium into high purity quartz. But still, in the familiar backyard, Northern Territory, everything is in Australia, our portfolio, so we're very comfortable to operate there.
So in some respects, you could call it a silver lining.
Yes, I like that
and
word.
I also observed that you've kept an open mind, and that could be attributing to much of the success.
Oh, definitely. As a junior, you have to keep it always like that. I would think before the company reach 100 million market cap, you need to always looking for new opportunities. That's the space we are in.
Well, we understand that Australasian Metals is currently finalising the due diligence on the Dingo Hole highly pure quartz project. Could you elaborate on the scope of this work and when it is expected to be completed?
So we have completed our first fieldwork campaign. We did a drone survey on the outcrop, and there's a lot of historical data already available from the previous owner. And they did close to 40 samples. They found the right consultant did a lot of study on this material, but they shifted the focus into phosphate. So this asset for them is a non-core asset, has been sitting there for 8 years, no more work. So our due diligence, what we want to find out is, for any project to work in Australia, we need a scale and we need a quality. So that's the two major things we want to check it out. So our geologists went there, did mapping and did sampling, cover the area, and along that trip, we already engaged a consultant from SRK Consulting Group, which are a reputable independent mining consulting group. They did the field work with us. So potential outcome of the trip, we would love to have an exploration target range to be defined, which give us a scope of future. If we do drilling, if we do more work, what's the potential resource base will look like? So that's the potential outcome we are going to deliver, I would think, by the end of this month. Maybe while this thing is made, this video is made, we may, I would think, the week after next, we will release to the market.
The clock is ticking.
Yes.
Based on your review of historical data, as you mentioned, what can you tell us about the potential of the Dingo Hole High Pure Quartz project?
You can answer it in a very short way, or it can dig yourself into a big space, because there's a lot of different applications of this high purity quartz, for the high purity quartz. Like for glass, that's a cheap application, and then when you upgrade to like glass for the car, and then like a special optical lens, and then if your purity is there, then you may be able to tap into the solar panel system, the industry, and your purity is further uplifted, you may reach to semiconductors, chips. So that's what I like this space, because we are exploring lithium and now we are exploring silica. Look at what's booming right now. People talk about AI. People talking about this, all the computer things can do. But fundamentally for the material, they need silica. That's the chips. So I think if we can define the results of the scale, prove up the quality of this high purity quartz, which can be the feed material for the potential high-end semiconductor or chips industry, oh my God, that will be a big success.
Endless potential.
Exactly. Yeah.
And what are the key objectives and milestones that Australasian Metals aims to achieve, especially in relation to the Dingo Hole project?
So as I said, we will define an exploration target range in weeks from now on. And then we already have samples in Alice Spring, and we brought some samples back to Melbourne, which we have labs. We have access to lab. They are going to do some analytical work for us. We want to understand what the raw material, the geochemical profile look like. And then after preliminary processing, which is optical, you pick up the good stuff, and maybe do some light acid leaching. And then we look at our purity, how pure it can achieve with that simple processes. Once we got that, we'll do the downstream testing with end users, with different applications. I think that's where the big value can be unlocked. I personally have done a lot of business between Australia and East Asia, like China, South Korea, Japan. I got a lot of contacts there. Some of them already reach out to me once we released the option agreement we have over Dingo Hole, this silica thing. And I already told them, if you want to test my products, why not become my shareholder? So buy my shares.
That's a good line.
Yeah.
Changing tack a little now, and let's talk gold. There are some high-grade gold intersections in your Queensland projects. Are there any follow-ups on these?
Yeah, if I can remind you, in one of our gold projects called Capella in central Queensland, Historical data shows they have 32 meters at 3.8 gram per ton intersection, and we repeated that, achieved 26 meters at 3.2 gram per ton with our own drilling work. So given the market is really bullish about gold, about gold projects, gold price, we have a consultant looking at the potential following up program to say we want to test is there any further extension of this high-grade shoot within the Jockstown resource we already defined, over 60,000 ounces at around 1.1 gram per ton gold. So yeah, hopefully we can deliver some exciting news in the gold space.
I'm going to say you've got your silver lining and your gold lining. This is looking very promising indeed.
Okay.
And final question. What significant milestones does Australasian Metals plan to accomplish for the second half of this year?
I mean, for junior, right now, it's a tough market. Interest rate is high, not enough investment into the junior space. We feel the pressure. I think a lot of companies in this space, they have problem to raise money. The market won't respond to their good news. And we have faced the same challenges. But for us, I would think we have a good foundation in terms of that we have a tight capital structure. Top 20 shareholders own over close to 60% of the company. And myself, the largest shareholder, this is my own company. I won't spend any money unless I see the value for my shareholder. And by today, we still have over $3 million in the bank. Our market cap is only 3.5, which is really low EV value for us. I think it's the right timing. If anybody has a long vision about exploration, about like silica, gold, lithium, you should jump into our company as a shareholder. And in terms of plans, the immediate focus for us still the Dingo Hole high purity quartz project. According to all the information we have reviewed so far, we feel positive, and we talked to several experienced consultants in this space. We understand that the public market may not be very familiar with high purity silica. Everybody talk about gold, nickel, they know that, copper. But for silica, it's actually a very specialized space. But the margin, the market is quite big. Each component, each project for Quartz, if you have the scale, if you have a quality, and then you identify the right path to an application, you will do well. I think that's why we focus on Dingo Hole, the high purity quartz thing for now. In the second half of the year, I would think most likely we'll exercise the option to acquire the project, and we'll have an exploration target range defined. We'll do our own drilling, hopefully by the end of this year. And in next year, early next year, we'll have a resource. And in the meantime, our sample will start to rock up in China, in South Korea. People will see, oh, this is good. Where can we buy this thing? So once we generate that kind of interest, I would think they will be reflected into our share price and market cap. And for the gold, depends on the outcome. I think we may be able to drill out some further target. If we intersect something good, exciting, we may have another bounce as well. So that's the plan for the second half of the year.
Dr. Zeng, we look forward to hearing more updates as they come through. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And that's the latest from Australasian Metals Limited. I'm Rose Jacobs. We'll see you again soon.